Hey there, everybody. I am back. I am going to do a review on my cruise. Not the kind of review about whether or not you should do it or not, but just a review going over the things about the cruise, cruising during COVID, all of that kind of type of review. I didn't make the best videos while I was on the ship. I had a grumpy butt with me who didn't really like me filming, so even though I said I was doing it. So anyway, I just wanted to go over it, the whole sailing, and let you know how it went. So here I am again, sitting in my car. Ironically, I'm wearing the same clothes I had on in the CDC video. I'm sitting probably almost in the same spot that I did that one in my car or in my van. So I don't know, should we call this cruise camo confessions in the car with candy? I don't know. Anyway, I wanted to again get on and let you guys know how everything went. So we arrived in Fort Lauderdale on Friday, so we got there the day before. We checked in a hotel that night. Instead of using any kind of transfers, our check-in time for the cruise was 12 o'clock on Saturday. So the transfer company that was recommended to me had a pickup at 9:30 and then not another pickup until 11:30. There was no 10:30 pickup. So I opted to cancel that because it's about roughly in traffic, it could be about an hour away to get to Miami from Fort Lauderdale. So I opted to we chose Lyft because it was a little less expensive than Uber. And we got in our Uber, got to the pier on Saturday morning about 11:20, I would say. Immediately gave our bags to the porter. I mean, out of the car, the porters took them. Kind of hung around there just for a little while, and I would say we went and got in line about 11:45. Basically, once we got to the doors to go into the terminal, you cannot film in that area. That's why I said in my video, if you saw it, that I have to turn it off. There's no photography, there's no filming, nothing inside of any type of transportation area like that where security is involved. So immediately you have to shut all that off. So at the door, the first thing they check is your negative COVID test. And we had to show this, I want to say 3 times we had to show our negative COVID test. So we showed it at the door. We showed it to go up the escalator to the check-in area. And then we showed it again at the check-in area. Once we got up the escalator, we might have had one couple ahead of us at the check-in. We were basically split off into different check-in lanes. I've done that before in San Francisco, so I know what it's like to be a pier agent and checking people in. And in the past, it's been a pain in the butt. So in any other cruises you've probably been on, you're going up to the desk, they're checking you in, they go through everything, they take your credit card information, and they have to go get your room keys, bring them back. Well, on Royal Caribbean, they're not giving you your room keys anymore. Your room keys are at your room. So basically, we walked up to this person, showed them each our passport, our vaccination record, and our negative COVID tests. They verified it, and we were off to go through the scanning, the x-ray machines, and walk through the security area. We were done with that, didn't get stopped, and pretty much walked right on the ship. It was amazing. There was hardly any people. So in the past, a couple weeks back, prior to when we went on our sailing, Royal Caribbean was giving all vaccinated passengers a wristband that said vaccinated. And I think the unvaccinated also got one that said it was a different color. But this was to allow them to know where you could and could not go on the ship. But we were the first sailing that we didn't have them. So that was pretty cool. And we also that was the first sailing where masks were, you could use masks if you wanted to. So there was a few times when we put them on. And of course they wanted them you had to use it in the terminal. Federal mandate, transportation areas, you did have to use it. So, no big deal, but once we got on the ship, we got to take it off. And if we felt uncomfortable and needed it, we could put it on. If we didn't feel we needed it, we didn't have to. I didn't notice too many places in the ports of call that we went to that were wearing them, but we took them with us everywhere we went. And when we felt we needed to put it on, we did. Let me think. So we got on the ship, and basically the first thing we did was, Royal Caribbean has it set up where almost everything is on the app. There's a Royal Caribbean app, and prior to going over to the port, we watched the safety drills on the app, and it will check off that they're done. And the last part of that is going to your muster station and checking in. So once you have your set sail pass and you're on the ship, you can go directly to your muster station and you can check in with the crew member that's there, and they'll check you off, and then you're done with that. I mean, it's super simple. I mean, I absolutely love it. Not having to go with a bunch of people in a really tight, back in the day, you used to have to go with your life jacket on the deck. Then they started doing it where you would go to a lounge or the theater or whatever, but still a bunch of people. Now having to do that on the app, and then walking over and just checking in and say, yeah, I did it. And then they mark it off and they said, yep, you're finished. You're free to go, blah, 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 blah. And then you're on your merry way. So we did that first, took care of that immediately, and went off to basically find something to eat. So we went and ate. First thing immediately we noticed when going to the Windjammer, that obviously you have to wash your hands before walking in. They did limit how many people went in at a time due to the sinks, because they do have full-blown sinks. So they limit that. And once you're done washing your hands, you can go in, and everything basically is served to you. So when you walk in, somebody will hand you your plate and your silverware. Then you walk around to each of the islands with the food on it, and there are people behind them that are serving you your food. There's very few things that you can grab for yourself. I see that changing. I've already seen some cruise lines state that they were able to serve theirself in a buffet on a different cruise line. But I like it. I happen to like it. You never know where these people's hands have been, even if they just washed them. Because in between the time that they washed them, they could pick their butt. They could pick their nose. So I actually liked that they were serving me. I didn't have a problem with that. If they didn't give you enough, you just ask for more. If they gave you too much, I would tell them just a little bit. Basically for me, I was just like two hash browns, and just a spoonful of scrambled eggs, or whatever it was. So that was really nice. Then you just take what you have and go sit down at your seat. Now the seats, all of the tables everywhere on the ship, with the exception of the dining room, there were these little cards, and I did film it. I don't know if it made it into that one video that I did when we boarded the ship. But there were these little cards that said on one side, sanitized and ready for you, and then on the other side it says unavailable, wait until it's been sanitized. So basically that's what they were doing. If it was flipped on the sanitized and you could sit down there, if it was flipped on the unavailable side, you couldn't sit there until that table was clean, and the crew member would flip it back over. So that was everywhere. That was in all of those type of areas. And then like the pizza place was like that. Promenade Cafe was like that. I believe Johnny Rockets was like that. We didn't go there, so I don't know. But like the fancier restaurants, they were not. The specialty dining, none of those had it, and neither did the dining room. There was no need to do it in the dining room because everything was clean before you got there. So that was one way of you knowing that the stuff was clean when you sat down. So after we ate lunch, we explored the ship for just a few minutes, and then we were able to go to our room. When we got to our room, the keys were outside the door in the little, where your room number is, it's like a little slit right there, and they were there. So basically you just take your keys out and go into your room. It's this one doesn't look like it was sealed, but I thought it was sealed. So anyway, that's how your keys come now. This is the last couple cruises. This is what we've done. I think Harmony, when we went in 2019, it was like this, and now this one. And I'm okay with that. It's one less step. And usually nobody goes into the wrong room. So, and then when I got into the room, I had this little puppy waiting for me. Congratulations. Of course, this won't be in everybody's room, but it says congratulations on your diamond status, along with their certificate that says diamond status. This is important. This is important because the number one reason is I get 4 drinks a day. 4 drinks, up to $13 a day. Whether or not I use it on alcohol, that's a good deal. I don't drink very much, so 4 drinks a day. I didn't even use 4 drinks a day. I could have got coffee with it, but I'm a Starbucks person. I didn't really like the coffee at Cafe Promenade. I tried to do that. It didn't work out. So anyway, that was in there along with some other information, and then we met stateroom attendant. He came by and gave us his business card. We also got a business card from the head waiter in case we had any issues there. Every day we got the same thing, your cruise compass, every day. This is all of them. This is the information for Perfect Day. And it will tell you health. Your health is our priority, and give you information on that. Cruise clearance, meaning, you know, when you get to when the cruise gets cleared to go into port, they'll let you know. Safety departure. A schedule of the shows, which this is not set in stone, but this stuff is still available to you. But it is also on the app, which is great. So the very first thing we did was book all of our shows that we wanted to go see. I think I did that while we were eating. So that night we did a show, we did our dining. The dining room was fantastic. It was just a table for 2. I kind of thought at this point that would be the safest. We do like to socialize with other people and meet other people, but I thought this time around I would try a table for 2 and see how that worked out. Now the dining room and even the bars offer a QR code to scan to look at the menu on your phone, but they do still offer you the full menu if you need the physical menu to look at. There's a lot of people that are really upset about that. They want the menu. I used my phone. I never touched a real menu the whole time. But the people across from us They had to have a real menu every night. So that was a change. It's just a lot more. They want you less touchy things. They want, even though it's paper, supposedly COVID didn't spread through paper, but they just want less paper waste, just less things to touch. So that was pretty cool. Our wait staff was fantastic every single night. We never had a problem with them at all. Not at all. We were done in the dining room. Our dinner was at 8. We were done before 9 every night because we were the only two. We ordered our food. We got our food. We ate our food. The only thing is my waiter asked me every single night if my food was okay because I didn't eat it all. I tried to tell him smaller portions, but you know, it's mass produced. They can't go around looking for the smallest portions, but that's what it is. And I finally told him I just need smaller portions. There's just too much here for me. If I want dessert, I can't eat all of my steak, you know. So he asked me every night though. He was making sure that it wasn't that I didn't like it, that it was just I couldn't eat it all. Then I only have a few more minutes because I gotta go check in for work, but all of our ports of call were great. We got off in Costa Maya. I got that snagged up, that last minute Mayan healing ritual. I think there was only one left because I was with 12 at a time can go, and I was with another 5 people, so they were odd. It was like 3 couples and then this group of 5, and I was with them. So I think I just got lucky. But it was great. The only thing that happened that I'm pretty sure is related to that is, I don't know if you could see this. Yeah, probably not. But I think when I rubbed, there was part of it where you had to break the herbs that you chose, and I chose rosemary. I broke it, and then you're supposed to go like this in your hand and then rub it on certain areas of your body for healing purposes and spiritual purposes and things like that. And I think it burned my skin. That's the only thing I could think of. It's just ironic that it's blotchy and it bubbled, and it didn't do it right away. So I think the sun, even though I took a shower as soon as I got back on the ship, but something happened, and it's on my couple spots on my legs, and I had to rub that on my legs too. So I'm pretty sure I'm allergic to the rosemary oil from Natural Rosemary. So anyway, that was fantastic doing the healing ritual in Costa Maya. I really enjoyed it, but I won't use rosemary if I ever do it again. Wasn't out there too long, went back to the ship. I really wanted to use the saline as more of a relaxation than anything. The one thing I really wanted to do was in not Costa Maya, was in Roatan. I wanted to go see the Slauson monkeys, and I'll be darned, I did that. And it was fantastic. It was raining so hard that day though. I felt so bad. The sloths were cold. The one that I was holding, Alex, he was like shivering. He was cold. And it's rainy there, so I don't know why they were cold, but they were cold. After that, we did that tour. We got back, we watched the runners. That was the only place we actually had people that almost missed the ship. I'm not kidding when I say they almost missed the ship. It was close. And I think there was about 6 of them. Then we did Cozumel the next day. In Cozumel, we walked off the ship. I wanted to go to the pharmacy. Went to the pharmacy and then got a massage. And I did that by myself. Then the next day was a sea day, which was Thursday. Friday was our day at Perfect Day at Coco Cay, which I love that place. When we went in 2019, we did the water park. We didn't have a lot of time to really explore because we invested in the water park. This time I didn't book any excursions. We just went and we hung out. We went in the pool. It was a little chilly that day. It was about 76 degrees, but that's the water was a little cool. So when it was windy, so the wind blowing is what made it cold. Not that it was cold, but the wind blowing made the water chilly. So didn't stay in the water too long. But walked around. They have hammocks for two. Those were fantastic. Just looking at everything. Of course, we ate. I want to do a cabana. If we ever go there as a family, this is for my family, I want to rent a cabana. They're a lot of money. They're like $1,000, but if we divide those by 8 people, divide that by 8 people, it's pretty decent. So if we ever go, I want to rent a cabana and just chill. However, I'm kind of done with the Caribbean. I want to try something different. I love the Caribbean. I love the blue water, but I want to try something different. So anyway, last night, embarkation. This was fantastic. Normally, you have to be out of your room by 8 o'clock in the morning. You have to go to wherever they direct you to go based on your number, and you wait there until they call your number. Not this time. This time we got to stay right in the room until it was time for us to go. And our predicted time was 8:50 a.m. We ended up leaving at about 8:30 because they called our number earlier. But oh my gosh, I could have slept that whole time. I didn't even need to get up and eat breakfast, but I did go. We went to get breakfast and then we left. So everything was fantastic. We never heard of any COVID cases. We never heard of any contact tracing. I was in a Facebook group for people that were just on my sailing, and there was almost 500 people in that group. Nobody ever said anything, and there was a lady that had direct contact with some of the officials because she's the one who said, our ship holds over 6,500 people and we only had 3,900 people on our sailing. That's changing now, guys. It's gonna keep going up now that CDC lowered the level. But anyway, I have to go right now. Maybe I'll come back and add some more to this. But overall, fantastic. Go cruise. I'm telling you, go cruise. Get back out there. It's worth it. I want to go again now. I would like to book one now to go again, but I can't. I have too many things to do and I just can't. But anyway, I gotta go. I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye. Hey there, everybody. I had to end my video yesterday quite abruptly because I needed to start work. So I'm gonna do just a real quick little overview of everything that I really enjoyed about our cruise. I only have a few minutes again, so it won't be too long, but I'm just gonna add this to the basically the review that I did about how things are right now during COVID. So the highlights for me were the ease of getting on the ship, meaning basically walking up to the agent, them checking just our passport, our vaccination card, and then our COVID test results. That was it. Simple. We were with them for 5 minutes tops, and then pretty much right onto the ship. So that was fantastic. On board the ship, there was not a single crew member that we ran into that was in a bad mood. They were all fantastic. Our wait staff, Wasif and what was the other guy's name? I can't even remember what his name is. They were from Indonesia and from India. Awesome. 2 young men. Fantastic. They were both young enough to be our children. Our stateroom attendant, also a young man. He was also from Indonesia. His name was Anak. Fantastic. Chuck ran into a guy in the Diamond Lounge that he really liked. He spent quite a bit of time in the Diamond Lounge. He went in and got some decaf coffee in the morning before I got up, and the specialty coffee in there, if you're a diamond or above, is complimentary. So he went in there and got some decaf coffee. And then the Starbucks, the two of the people at Starbucks, they were all great, but the morning crew, I absolutely loved them. They remembered my name every day, which is usual. I mean, I haven't run into that really at all on any cruise, because it's the same people that are working pretty much all day. So once they know you, they know you. So the guy was from Indonesia, and I believe he was from Indonesia, unless he was from India. He might have been from India. I have his name tag. So, and then I'm going, so I'm driving now, so I'm gonna have to cut this short. And then the female was from the Philippines. Fantastic. Loved them both. The other highlight from my trip this time was I hid ducks. So several years ago, I don't know if it was when Nikki found the duck on her honeymoon or if I had already known about the group, but there's a group called Cruising Ducks, and you hide ducks on a cruise ship, and people find them throughout the week, and that was great. I so loved it. So, I gotta go though. I'll get back to you. Okay, so I'm gonna do this while I'm driving. I don't know why they rushed me through there. But anyway, I mentioned the ducks. So in 2019, when we went on the cruise for Nikki's honeymoon, she found a duck with the tag that said, directed you to the Cruising Ducks group. And I don't remember if I had found it before that or if that's what made me find it. But anyway, I hid ducks on this cruise, and I absolutely enjoyed doing it. I had a hook on my door, and I put one on my door. I basically made little tiny some bracelets with a little tiny duck on it, and then I had some Disney ducks that I had bought for my Disneyland bunko, and I had some extra ones, so I hid those. So it was a lot of fun. We found, I want to say, well, somebody put 2 on my door, and then I think I found 3 or 4 more. So it was pretty fun, and now I'm going to be doing that in Disneyland. I'm taking and hiding some keys, some Disneyland magic keys, and I posted that on Facebook, so some of you may have seen that, but I'm going to do it in honor of Aubrey's 6th birthday, and I'm going to have her help me hide. We'll probably hide 5 a day. I'm taking 25, and we're going to be there for 5 days, so I think I'm going to do 5 every day in whatever park we're in. So I really enjoyed doing that. It was a lot of fun, and it was fun seeing the kids find them. Some adults too. The other thing that was a highlight of my trip, obviously, was seeing the sloths. The monkeys, I mean, spider monkeys, they were jumping on our necks, and not that big of a deal, but it was okay. But the sloths, I really wanted to see, and it was really fun holding the sloth and seeing how slow they really are, and then their face looks like they're smiling, so that was pretty cool. The shows were good. Nothing, I would say, nothing stands out as phenomenal. Always the show in the Aqua Theater, which we got really lucky to see because it had been canceled every single night but the night that they rescheduled us to because of weather. It was raining, and those divers and stuff can't do those tricks and stuff in the pool in the rain. It's just very, very unsafe, especially because they have acrobats, and, you know, there was a guy that was walking on a tightrope and things like that. It was just not safe for them to do in the weather when it was either super windy or it it did rain. So we really got lucky to see Hero, because that night was the only night it was shown, and we were rescheduled to that night from another canceled one. Ice shows were good. We saw 2 different ice shows. They were really good. The Love and Marriage show is the same as usual, but for once, oh no, the old couple did win. Usually the old couple wins, and again, the old couple won. But we also had a same-sex marriage as the newlyweds, which was pretty cool. I really enjoyed that. It gave the cruise director a run for his money because he couldn't say the usual your wife or your lady or whatever it was. He bit his tongue a few times in the process because it was 2 males. So that was pretty interesting. I love seeing that, and I just love the inclusion. Let me think what else was a highlight. Definitely disembarkation, being able to stay in our stateroom and not having to leave. The muster drill, being able to do that on your phone and then only checking in at your muster station, which ours was at the Royal Theater in the forward of the ship. We stayed in the forward of the ship. Let's see, what else? Coco Cay, the day at Coco Cay, man. It was just a good day that day. Other than it being a little bit windy and overcast when we first got there, it was fun. I really just liked hanging out, and I really want to do a cabana there. When we have more people, they typically hold about 8 people, or it's supposed to be a maximum of 8 people. There's a few of them that are 6. So if we went as a family and there was 8 of us, $1,000 split it up, what is that, $120 a piece or something like that a piece, it would be fun. Let me see, what else was a highlight? I would just have to say the crew. Overall, the crew, it was just so nice, and not having a full ship, especially ships with that size that hold over 6,000 people. When it's full, there's times when you just can't.
Turn right onto East Louise Avenue, then in 150 feet keep right.
Sorry. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and
keep right onto East Louise Avenue,
because otherwise you're gonna keep hearing my
continue for 3 miles on East Louise Avenue.
You're going to continue hearing that, and I don't think you want to. So that's about it. If you have any questions, let me know. And until the next time, I don't know when I'll do cruising again because, hey, I don't know when I'm going to go on another cruise, but I'm anxious now. I really want to keep getting out there. I could do 3 cruises a year easily. And then Disneyland mixed in that. Yeah, I could do it easily. I just don't have anybody to go with me that many times a year. Chuck doesn't think he wants to go. Oh, but that was what I was going to say. I think I'm going to do either Alaska next, the New England states. I want to do the Mediterranean really bad. I've thought about Panama Canal, but Chuck's not sure about 2 weeks out there. Hawaii would also be a long one. I haven't done the Mexican Riviera on Royal Caribbean. I've only done it on Carnival. But as much as I really want to stay cruising with Royal Caribbean now that I get those 4 free drinks right now, and we're still quite a ways away from Diamond Plus, but you know, let me get up there to Diamond Plus. I'll never be Pinnacle. I'll never be Pinnacle, because it's 750 points. I just don't ever see that happening. I just don't know how we would be able to cruise that much. But we can make Diamond Plus. We definitely can make Diamond Plus. So, anyway, I'm itching to get back out there. I'm going to Disneyland next week. We're going to hide those keys. Then I'm going to Hawaii after that on a girls' trip. That's why I'm working, by the way. You see these Amazon packages back there? I have to pay my way to get on these trips. Chuck has been really good to me all these years and has supplied me with all of my funding for all of my stuff that I do. My Starbucks addiction, my Disneyland addiction, my travel in general. But I mean, I feel guilty. I really do. I feel guilty. I gotta make some money myself. I'm not ready to go back to work full time. I do still have problems with my shoulders, and I'm just not ready to go back to work full time. So I'm pushing this travel thing right now, my crafting. I just want to get that going so I don't have to do this. This is putting miles on my car that I really don't want to do, but it is something easy and I can make my own hours. So anyway, again, I'm going to end this now, and I'll talk to you guys all soon.